Is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? Let's talk about it. First of all, I don't have a boyfriend. I am not dating. I don't do any of that. I am out of the game, and thank God for that. It's because I'm married. Okay? It was not that long ago that I was in that stage. So, with that in mind, I am reacting to a recent Vogue article that has been going viral online titled, Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now? Now, originally, I thought the article was going to be a piece to persuade women that having relationships in general is bad and embarrassing and low status, that we should just embrace casualness of relationships or singleness in our lives. And of course, you can absolutely read it that way. But I thought, to be generous, to be charitable, it's all about perspective, right? I understood it differently in the sense that many of us know that girl that as soon as she gets a boyfriend, she posts them nonstop on social media. It seems like her personality becomes completely enmeshed in her boyfriend. And many times, honestly, it is very clearly a call for validation from other women. Or to say, look at me, I am worthy. Someone chose me. Someone chose me to get into a relationship with them. This happens all the time. We've all seen it. Maybe you've done this too. Hey, no judgment. So this article seems to advocating for something entirely different. Let's get into it. Is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? By Shantae Joseph. If someone so much as says my boyfriend on social media, they're muted. There's nothing I hate more than following someone for fun only for their content to become my boyfriendified suddenly. This is probably because for so long it felt like we were living in what one of my favorite Starbucks Substackers called boyfriend land, a world where women's online identity is centered around the lives of their partners, a situation rarely seen reversed. That's true. We don't see men having content become about their girlfriends. Women were rewarded for their ability to find and keep a man with elevated social status and praise. It became even more suffocating when this could be leveraged on social media for engagement and, if you are serious enough, financial gain. That blows my mind, honestly. I guess like the one example I can think of this is the stay-at-home girlfriends that are making content about being stay-at-home girlfriends and what they do for their boyfriends. Like that's absolutely nuts to me. But however, more recently there's been a profound shift in the way people showcase their relationships online. Far from fully hard launching romantic partners, straight women are opting for subtler signs. A hand on the steering wheel, clinking glass at dinner, or the back of someone's head. Come on, that's still showing that you're with. So okay, fine. I've seen that too, and okay, it's not that serious. On the more confusing end, you have face blurred out of wedding picture or entire professionally edited videos with the fiance conveniently cropped out of all the shots. Women are obscuring their partner's face when they post, as if they want to erase the fact that they exist without actually not posting. I mean, yes and no. When people do this, and this is my opinion, okay, maybe I'm wrong here, but when people do this, they still want you to know they have someone, but they might just not want to post that person online for privacy reasons. I don't know. I don't think they like are trying to obscure the fact that they're in a relationship. It's more, in my opinion, about privacy. So, what gives? Are people embarrassed by their boyfriends now? Unless they're really ugly, I don't think so. Or is something more complicated going on? To me, Occam's razor. When people do that, it's not that they're embarrassed, they're just trying to be private, but this is multifactorial. Let's keep reading. To me, it feels like the result of women wanting to straddle two worlds. One where they can receive the social benefits of having a partner, but also not appear so boyfriend obsessed that they come across as quite culturally loserish. That's so interesting. This is culturally loserish. I mean, I guess if you, again, as I mentioned before, if you're constantly posting your boyfriend, Like you went from being single and now you're posting your boyfriend constantly. It does come off like you're trying to get approval from women validation or like jealousy in some sense. Like you want to make sure other people know like, oh, she can get a boyfriend. At least that's my perspective on some people that do this, like post a lot. They want the prize and celebration of partnership, but understand the norminess of it. The norminess of it, says Zoe Samutzi, writer and activist. In other words, in an era of widespread hetero, fa- hetero, fatalism, fatalism. What the heck is that? Let's look it up real quick. It is the frustration and resignation felt by many straight women about the perceived hopelessness of dating men. Oh, that's so stupid. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sad. I wish I wasn't straight and like be cooler and be queer. This is just so gay, unironically. My gosh, bro. Hard eye roll. Women don't want to be seen as being all about their man, but they also want the clout that comes with being partnered. Okay? I mean, I get it, like not losing your identity to that. I would agree to that. But it's not all about image. What I did call out on Instagram, plenty of women told me that they were, in fact, superstitious. Some feared the evil eye, a belief that their happy relationships would spark a jealousy so strong in other people that it could end the relationship. Actually, this is what my mom always told me. Whenever I started dating a guy, whenever it was like in the beginning stages, she told me not to share too much about it, whether to tell my friends or on social media, just because there could be some evil eye. If you don't believe in that, some sabotage. Yeah, just the energy. So for me personally, I wouldn't post him as much at the very beginning. Later on, I would post him here and there when we were very, very strong in our relationships and where we were going. But I also wouldn't post him too much. And my reason for that is gossip. I've noticed a lot of the time when I know someone is dating someone else because they post them a lot. And if that relationship were to end, and they suddenly start posting, people immediately figure it out. So I never wanted anyone to know exactly what was going on unless I told them expressly, like personally. But that's just me. Someone said others were concerned about their relationship ending and then being stuck with the posts. Yeah, somewhat similar. This girl says, I was in a relationship for 12 years and never once posted him or talked about him online. We broke up recently and I don't think I will ever post him, man, says Nikki, 38. Even though I'm a romantic, I still feel like men will embarrass you even 12 years in, so claiming them feels so lame. Okay. I think this person, I might be reading too much into it, but the fact that she never posted him 12 years, yeah, like there was something inside of her that felt like this was not going anywhere. And also, she sounds quite cynical and nihilistic. Not gonna lie. Moving on. But there was an overwhelming sense from single and partner women alike that regardless of the relationship, being with a man was an almost guilty thing to do. On the Delusional Diaries podcast, fronted by two New York based influencers, Haley and Jazz, they discuss whether having a boyfriend is quote unquote lame now. What does having a boyfriend feel Republican? Read a top comment. Boyfriends are out of style. They won't come back until they start acting right. I mean, I agree to the extent of like you shouldn't be with a man if he's not quote unquote acting right, meaning treating you well with respect, etc. Some women accept way too much, too many red flags. In essence, having a boyfriend typically takes hits on a woman's aura, as one commenter claimed. Interesting. Funnily enough, both of these hosts have partners, which is something I often see online. Even partner women will lament men and heterosexuality, partly in solidarity, partly in solidarity with other women, but also because it is now fundamentally uncool to be a boyfriend girl. Lament men and heterosexual guys, like what are we doing here? Also, yes, I get being a boyfriend girl, like basing your entire personality around the boyfriend thing. I get, don't do that. Don't do that. Like the person that started dating you started dating you because of you. Don't become like just nothing, an extension of him. He liked you because of you, who you were before him. It's my thoughts, my own thoughts. It's not in these women's imaginations. Audiences are icked out by seeing too much boyfriend content, myself included. It seems, as indicated by my liberal use of mute button, when author and British Vogue contributor Stephanie Yeboah hard launched her boyfriend on social media, she lost hundreds of followers. Even if we were still together, I wouldn't post them on here. There is something cringy and embarrassing about constantly posting your partner in these days, she tells me, adding that there is part of me that would also feel guilty for sharing my partner constantly, especially when we know that dating landscape is really bad at the moment. I wouldn't want to be boastful. And I think that's the crux of it when it comes to people unfollowing her. I think a lot of people are on one side, they feel jealousy and saying they just want to be single is a cope. And on the other side, there might be people that think if you get a boyfriend, that's all your content going to be now from now on, which I don't agree with. A lot of people don't do that. I think people follow pregnant women all the time because they think their content is not going to be about pregnancy and whatnot. And I see those comments sometimes. But again, I think people feel a little bit of jealousy. If you posted your boyfriend one time and you immediately got unfollowed, side eye to that. I don't know. It seems excessive to unfollow someone just because they have a boyfriend. Maybe you had a lot of lesbian followers because I thought I would lose male followers once I posted my husband, and I was fine with that. Like if you were following me for anything other than hearing what I had to say, then I am fine with you unfollowing me, please. But to my surprise, not that many people did. So Sophie Milner, a content creator, also experienced people unfollowing her when she shared a romantic relationship. This summer, a boy took me to Sicily. I posted about it on my subscribers section, and people replied saying things like, please don't get a boyfriend. She admits that her content perhaps becomes less exciting when she's in a relationship. Being single gives you this ultimate freedom to say and do what you want. It is absolutely not every woman, but I do notice that we can become more beige and watered down online when in a relationship, myself included. I have to say, I do admit to this. Like when I met my husband, I went on like a month break from social media, not because of him. I already was planning it, but then after that, I kind of became very involved in the relationship, and my personal life became more important to me because at that point when I was really going after social media and I grew my Instagram from just a couple thousand to over 10K. Now that's a different story now, but in that moment I was really posting and doing all that, and then I just stopped, which is why I kind of lost momentum, a lot of it. But now I've been here with him for 4 years now, and I know that I can't say certain things, or I stop myself from diving into certain topics because one thing is for certain things to be associated with me. Quite a different one is for anything to splash onto him. How we say in Spanish, salpicar. Like I don't want anything that I say online that is controversial to put him in a difficult situation, like finding a hard time to get a job, something in his workplace. So I take care of what I say a lot more than I used to before I met him or when we first started dating. So this can definitely be the case. And for my conversations, one thing is certain: the script is shifting. Being partner doesn't affirm your womanhood anymore. It is no longer considered an achievement, and if anything, it's become more of a flex to pronounce yourself single. I don't know. I have a hard time believing this. I have a hard time believing that one, but okay. As straight women, we're confronting something that every other sexuality has had to contend with: a politicization of our identity. I hope I said that correctly. Heterosexuality has long been purposefully and indefinable, so it is harder for those within it and outside of it to critique. However, As our traditional roles begin to crumble, maybe we're being forced to reevaluate our blind allegiance to heterosexuality. Obviously, there's no shame in falling in love, but there's also no shame in trying and failing to find it, or not trying at all. And as long as we're openly rethinking and criticizing heteronormativity, having a boyfriend will remain a somewhat fragile or even contentious concept within public life. This is also happening alongside a wave of women reclaiming and romanticizing their single life. Where being single was once a cautionary tale, you'll end up a spinster with loads of cats. It is now becoming a desirable and coveted status. I don't know about that either. Another nail in the coffin of a centuries old heterosexual fairy tale that never really benefited women to begin with. Okay, I don't agree with that. Like, I don't think it's becoming a desirable and coveted status. Like, I still see media posts on TikTok and around social media all the time of women lamenting their aloneness and their loneliness. We are meant to be in partnerships, we are meant to be with other people. I think what you could say is people that find peace not being with someone else that doesn't value them, because a lot of women do not want to settle for something below their standards, and that's fair. And when men hear this, they're like, some women just women don't want to be with someone they're not attracted to, and I think that's fair. Why would you want that anyways, being someone you're not attracted to? Or just women not finding the right person and then just like, yeah, just accepting that without feeling the need to compensate in other ways. However, desirable and coveted status, I don't think so. Because achieving singleness is not difficult. It's not a difficult task. Finding a good relationship with a partner with integrity that is genuinely a good person and you're attracted to, that's finding a needle in a haystack. That's not easy at all. So no, I don't think being single is coveted status, but it should be accepted. If you can't find someone that is someone you're attracted to and meets your like reasonable standards, and I say reasonable, then fine. But let's not kid ourselves and say like this is coveted. This is a coveted position. Like, come on. Sorry, but like, okay. Reflections. Reflections. Okay. If you are in a relationship, posting about it, ask yourself, why am I posting this? Whose narrative is it? Is it for? Is it for me? Is it for us? Is it for someone else to see? Is it because I want to validate my boyfriend or my fiance or my husband and make sure that I'm not coming off as single and looking? And are we rejecting, meaning people that are rejecting, are we rejecting couple posts because we dislike relationships or because we dislike performative relationships? And I think that's a fair question. And last thing I want you to reflect on, how do we differentiate between sharing our joy with other people and or using a relationship as a social statement? Let me know your thoughts below and see you next time.